Welcome to the Linux Saloon, a place to discuss tech, open source, and where Linux is always on tap. Each show we have a talk about Linux projects such as a distribution, desktop environment, application. We also chat about the news or any variety of topics from the community. Anything that's Linux tech and open source related is on the table for discussion. I'm Nate, a Linux fitness and vintage tech enthusiast with an almost healthy obsession with the OpenSUSE project. With me today, I got a fantastic panel of people. I've got Dale of low-tech Linux fame, Ben Seeker, Eris, Mike Chilson, Mr. Programmer Extraordinaire, and Jinda, Mr. Programmer Breaker. How's everybody?
Good.
Excellent.
Fantastic. So be sure to do that straw poll. That'd be mighty kind of you. And also, if you'd like to, hit that like button or subscribe if you're not already, that would be groovy too. And if you'd like to join the Zoom chat here, show your face or avatar like Eris. Apparently he looks like a ghost now. We're all concerned about him. We're hoping he's still here, actually. So you can do that as well. So on the docket for today, we're going to do a straw poll about, that we just talked about, do you have an NAS? Do our news flight night, some housekeeping, and then we're going to do a Nobel Promise Storm OS update this week. At least I got a Nobel Promise. That's what Ben said. So I'm going to hold him to it. If he bails, then I guess, I don't know. It was a promise.
All right.
He probably went out for milk. He went out for milk and cigarettes and never came back.
I'm here.
Anyway.
I'm here.
Yeah, he's right there.
So
I'm having water, Nate. I don't drink milk.
Why not?
I drink milk with cereal, but only from the bowl.
Okay.
I drink orange juice, I drink water, I drink soda, but that's as far as I go.
yeah. So Eris says milk does the body good. At least the ghost of Eris says that. Ghost of Eris passed.
Well,
All right.
everybody's
so-
entitled to what they want to drink.
That's right. So first we get to what have you been doing in Linux and tech. And Dale, when he joined, he told me that he had a little bit of excitement with his machine. You broke your tumbleweed machine. Is that right? Am I hearing this correctly?
Yep, for the second time, I have broken my install using the DD command.
Oh, so it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, to be careful with the DD command. So I am no longer allowed to DD command on my main computer. Second time, only on these other ones. But from now on, I'll be using the KDE. What is it? ISO writer,
Yep.
image writer.
Yeah, image writer. That's a good one.
I'll be using that from now on because I am no longer allowed to double D.
So you DD'd up your computer.
Yep, I DD'd to the wrong hard drive, or I DD'd to a hard drive instead of DDing to a thumb drive.
Ooh.
And second time I've done that.
Oh, dang.
Now, you get in a hurry and you've done this thing 1,000 times over. You get in a hurry and just every now and then it's a little different than it was last time and you just don't pay attention. DD is unforgiving. DD will do exactly what you tell it to do. And
Yep.
it did.
So Steven Anderson, shots fired. He says, I thought tumbleweed was unbreakable.
Well, you'd be amazed at the power of that the terminal commands at your fingertips. It is not unbreakable, but it certainly is pretty close to unbreakable as far as its own updates go. But if you tell it to break and you sudo commanding it to break, it will break.
Well, I do have to share also with the class that my tumbleweed Commodore 64 Imposter also broke. So
I don't feel so bad now.
no, you shouldn't. So, but it's not tumbleweed's fault. It's the fault of this particular NVMe storage here. This Mushkin 1 terabyte Helix. I don't know that it's really the fault of this because there was, before I had all the cooling sort of thing situated, it did run pretty hot and it did overheat a few times. So I don't know if maybe I kind of accelerated the death of this probably a little bit, I'm thinking. And the last time, last year, was it this year or last year? No, it was this year. It had a drive failure, which was this one. And I thought, I'll just install it again and, maybe it'll kind of smooth itself out. Nope. So anyway, must have come back to that bad sector with doing the updates and whatever else. So anyway, so I'm rebuilding that one now. So I'm on my laptop, my framework. It's my step in. So yeah, no DD here. Also, it's a little more difficult to DD my NVMe because it's a dev/NVMe blah blah blah, not SDA or whatever. So it's a little bit harder. I have to take a little more effort in DDing this into Oblivion, at least on my laptop. But I tend to use like the ISO image writer for KDE, or also the Fedora image writer is also really good. I have the flat pack of that installed. There's another one I use too, Fedora Media Writer. And then I have the Raspberry Pi imager as well. So those are a couple options, I suppose. It's good times. You're muted, Dale.
On Tumbleweed, the only way I could find the image writer from KDE is through the Flatpak. I thought that was odd.
Yeah, I don't mind, as long as it works.
Yeah, it works. It works like a charm, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I've used it several times now.
So, has anybody here gone through a catastrophic failure recently with their systems?
Not recently. It was years ago, but similar.
No. What was it? DD for you, or was it hardware failure?
Hardware failure, and then I had to use AI to recover it, and I was able to salvage it.
So for me, I don't have anything on that computer that isn't backed up. So, this basically right now everything's restoring on it right now. So I don't have all my OBS files and everything else on there. So I can't. It's not ready yet. Then log into the different things like Firefox Sync, and then install Zoom, OBS, stuff like that. So that's what I've left to do. So Dale, how long does it take for you to restore a system once you've DD'd it up? DD'd it up.
It took me, I don't know, roughly 10, 15 minutes to install it. And then I'm going to say roughly in an hour, I had almost everything done except for what I forgot to do, and figured that out as I was doing my normal routine and go, oh yeah, I forgot that part. But so yeah, roughly a little over an hour to get everything back.
That's not too bad, really.
Most of the things I know I do in, when I do the very first sudo zipper install, I'm sudo zipper in Kdenlive, OBS, Inkscape, GIMP, Godot, just anything that I can think of. I'm installing all of them in one command line, so I can run that command, go away, come back 5 minutes later, and just about everything that I need is installed. OBS, by the way, I've actually installed it with the Flatpak because I couldn't get the repo one to work right. It's also,
Gotcha.
I have 3 Flatpaks on my system.
Which are they?
It's the image writer, the OBS, and I think Kdenlive.
Okay. Yeah, I think I do Kdenlive as a Flatpak as well.
Yeah, I know I did
Used to have.
Kdenlive. I know I did Kdenlive as Flatpak the last time around, and I can't remember for sure if I have that this time or not. But those are generally the 3 that I use. I don't use very many.
Gotcha. Well, I think that makes for a good segue, having all your data backed up. And, there's a variety of ways to have your data backed up. You can just do offline drives, or, as the StrawPoll suggested, do you have a NAS? And Eris, how did how did that straw poll shake out?
Um, I got some replies. The first one was, "What is the definition of an NAS? I have a secondary computer with some disk in it that I do backups to and some other things. Is that an NAS?" And then somebody responded, "Sounds like it to me. Is it a storage device? It's attached to your network for that purpose. Network attached storage has been achieved. My NAS is a 2007 era 2-core AMD with 8 gigabytes RAM, mid tower with four 2 terabyte hard drives, spanned and mirrored for 4 terabytes capacity under CFS. I'm running the Sigma NAS on it, and my last scrub indicated a bad disk, so it's time to start shopping for cheap use enterprise hard drives." And then somebody else said, "I technically have multiple NASs, or NAS, I don't know. How do you say that, NASi?
NASi? Yeah, let's go with NASi.
I have a TrueNAS server as my main, with a Synology be what it backs up to currently. I may even have a third one as a testing ground that I am working on. It'll be a PINAS, I think."
PineNAS, probably.
And then somebody
Oh,
else said,
uh-huh.
"I would say what sets a NAS apart from a file server is a NAS tends to be plug-and-play device as opposed to a built-in file server." And the final response I got, "I have a NAS at home, NAS at work, so yes, yes." As far as the results, number one answer was yes with 56%, followed by no with 45%. And no votes for other, no votes for Tux Penguin.
Tux didn't get a single vote this time. Hope he's okay with that. So, those of you here, do you guys? Okay, wait. I'm gonna. I kind of want to push back on one little statement there. So, a plug-and-play device. So, if you build your own NAS, that's not really plug and play, but that would still be a NAS, right?
I responded in one of those comments saying that as long as it's connected to the network and you can store things on it, that's what a NAS is to me.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of
Is
very
it
broad
about
definition.
the same storage area network and a network area storage? And they're about the same, or is there like a difference between a SAN and a NAS?
So a SAN is typically connected to a
Uh-huh.
something else, like some sort of a server. Like SAN could be connected to a NAS.
Okay.
So it's you have some sort of other. It could be over network. It could be iSCSI, whatever. But that's typically what a SAN is. But a SAN can also be a NAS.
Yeah. I'm wondering about that.
I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose it could be any number of. I guess the line's a little bit blurred. I suppose.
Hmm.
But so I have.
Yeah,
I
I
have
mean,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, yeah, anything could really be a NAS. I mean, but I think when someone talks about a NAS, I think of it in the context of a standalone device that's on your network that is exclusively for that purpose and nothing else. So,
Well, I mean, like the Synology NAS, you can run Docker images on it. You can do all kinds of things
there you go.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So, as I said, it's kind of blurred. I think a NAS is more of a function. So, in my mind, a NAS would be, it is a constantly available bucket for storage, and use it for storing, and then it has some sort of built-in redundancy. That would be probably that would be my definition of a NAS.
Yeah, if somebody comes to you and says, I've got a NAS, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Synology, like a little appliance
Exactly.
type thing.
Exactly. Yeah, an appliance. Yeah.
But
I'm not saying that one is right and the other is wrong. I'm just saying that is I think what most people think of when you say that
yeah.
term. You know.
So I also built a NAS at work. I used Rockstore.
Sure.
If you heard, I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yep.
Now I built it because, well, I use Rockstore as opposed to any other projects out there because it's built on my favorite technology. I don't know if you can see that right there. So that's kind of why I went with it. So it's a really nice interface.
Yeah, but I mean, you can take a Raspberry Pi and hook it up to some disk and run TrueNAS, and you've got a NAS too,
Right.
right?
That's true.
So, granted, it may not be that fast going off a Raspberry Pi, but
Yeah.
it's still a NAS.
Daniel Yount says a Pi nowadays is fast enough for a good NAS. I mean, I would say a Pi 3 could. I mean, depending on how much data you have that you're pushing around. I mean, a Pi 3 could do that pretty well too.
Yeah, except the disk interface, the external disk interface on those is very slow.
Right. Well, again, that's why I said it depends on how much you're pushing.
Right.
So maybe for like a person or two, at home, I'm sure it'd do just fine. So who here has an NAS in their at home?
I really do not.
I had one, but it died a long time ago.
I
you
have a
have-
Synology, yeah.
Okay. I also have a server too that does act as a NAS as well, but basically I wanted two different areas for storage networks, whatever. One out here, then one in the house. So if something catastrophic happens to one place or the other, it's redundant. I'm still thinking about like doing the Backblaze. I signed up for it, but I haven't actually used it yet. So bad on me. Well, cool. Well, that's pretty neat. I was thinking, I'm just gonna spitball this here, just kind of socialize the idea. But I was thinking that maybe for an application appetizer, maybe go into backup utilities that we use. What we do to protect our data, different applications. How does that sound so far? Don't have to agree to it. Not. We might come with a better idea a little bit later on, but
Good
just a
idea.
thought. I think it might be a good one. Adam Grubbs was talking to me earlier today. He sent me some messages about this. Is just another thought too. And maybe I should wait till housekeeping. I'll wait till housekeeping. But he had an idea about like some kind of maybe a long-term distribution testing that we can do. So anyway, we'll get to that maybe a little bit later. All right. Anything else on the NAS situation? Any other comments, thoughts, concerns? No? Something I missed? Probably a lot.
Yeah, I would add one thing that if you don't have one, now's a really good time to invest in one, and they're not that expensive.
They're really not.
I mean, you can pick up a 2-drive Synology NAS with no drives for about $250, and then put a couple of NAS optimized mechanical drives in there for almost nothing. So,
Yeah, we can do a 2-bay NAS, $284 on Scamazon. Looks like what I have actually. You can choose whatever drives you want. Is there something that you think that you should look out for with a NAS as far as the kind of drives?
well, everything that I read when I did research on it, and this may be changing, but everyone recommends using mechanical drives instead of solid state ones.
Okay.
How come?
I think it's just the read-write constant moving around. The solid state ones tend to, I guess, die before the mechanical ones do in that particular application. So I don't know that's just what the research said.
So
I mean,
Seagate has some Iron Wolf NAS hard drives, and they're for 4 terabytes, $100. So if you want, redundancy, like with the two bay, so that's be another $200 there. So roughly 400 some odd dollars for a NAS.
And actually, you get it cheaper than that. There's some other brands out there, I think, like Green Bay or Greenwood or something like that.
You agree?
They're about something like they're like 150 to 180 for a two bay.
Okay.
The Synology, I think, is the best buy though, because you get so much software with it, and you get their backup program, which is incredible.
Yeah, it is pretty neat for sure. I don't use a backup program, but I'm saying their interface is really neat.
Yeah.
It's almost
Well,
like
their
a
backup
desktop.
program, yeah. I mean, it'll back up your desktop. It'll back up your servers. You can go retrieve individual files from a backup, so you don't have to restore the whole thing. So,
Yeah. Pretty neat. They got some big rack mount ones too.
yeah. So there's a bunch of them out there. I mean, yeah, you can get into a good one for well under $500. So
Yeah. A 12 terabyte Iron Wolf is $260. You might be able to get it for cheaper. That's a lot of storage.
yeah, it is. What size is yours, Nate? What do you have on yours?
I want to say it's 14.
Gotcha.
And then I have 32 terabytes on my my server. So,
Yeah.
well, I don't have 32 terabytes left, but
I've got 2 8s, and they're mirrored basically.
yeah, it's probably a good way to go. So I have currently 25 terabytes left. So I've used a quarter of it, about roughly a quarter.
Yeah.
Yuppers. Okay. All right. So it is a news flight night. So I thought I'd get to the news. You know, I think I forgot to put the notification in the Discord. Yeah, it's all right. You probably took care of it, Eris. Seems like you do that. So some exciting news, and Eris, you did share this with me over the week at some point in time. But it said Microsoft Exchange support is coming to Thunderbird in October 2025. Now, I pay for something called the Owl Exchange. What is it called? I can't remember what it's called now. It's actually one of the developers for Thunderbird. But they're what's it called? Owl for Exchange, and that's been working pretty well. But it looks like this is going to be even better. Does anybody here use Thunderbird for their mail client?
I used to,
Yes.
but I haven't in a long time.
So what do you use for email? Just the web client?
I just use the browser 99% of the time now. But I have contemplated going to Thunderbird for every now and again. But for me, it's sort of a niche app these days. Just because,
Mm.
I mean,
But
I still like it. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't really have much of a use case for the thing anymore.
So for me, just as an aside, I need to merge my work calendar and my personal calendar together, and there's no way to do that in the web that I'm aware of. Maybe you can do it with like Outlook. I don't know. But anyway, so I can actually see. So this way, I have double booked myself numerous times, and so I need that client, that mail client, that actually shows me everything, so I don't mess something up. But Danny Yacht says he has his own email, so he needs Thunderbird.
Yeah, I use
Well, I would
Thunderbird.
say, sorry about that, Mike, but yeah, if you're looking for an easy, email client that doesn't have a whole lot of fluff and stuff, go Thunderbird. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I actually use Kmail.
I did up until recently. We talked about that already. So, as the article goes, Microsoft Exchange support coming to Thunderbird in October 2025. So the Microsoft Exchange arrives in Thunderbird 144 this October alongside refinements to account settings, auto sync, and notification features. So the wait is almost finally over. The Thunderbird team has confirmed that Exchange Mail support will be officially introduced in version 144, scheduled for release in October 2025, so sometime very soon. And let me tell you, this could be a real turning point for this email client. It's finally opening the door to the business segment. a space long dominated by Microsoft Outlook and its built-in Exchange server capabilities. Well, yeah, because that's what it is. The new
Is this
support.
along with, sorry, is this
Go ahead.
along with Microsoft or is this behind Microsoft's back? Or do we
Good
know?
question.
I think. I mean, it's just using the Microsoft APIs, really.
Okay.
No. So the new support includes undo and redo operations for move, copy, and delete actions, as well as notifications, basic search, folder repair, and remote content handling. Users will also notice status bar feedback messages, updated account settings, and an autosync manager to handle message downloads more efficiently. Attachment management has also been improved with delete and detach options now built in. Advanced server settings have also begun to roll out, providing admins and power users with more flexibility in complex environments. Early adopters are also testing experimental tenant-specific configuration options currently hidden behind preferences. So according to developers, so people like Mike, the QA team is currently running extensive test plans with the help of a small beta group, and the results will guide the documentation and support expected with the October rollout. Looking further ahead, the developers are already planning enhancements, including folder quotas, improved search, and support for calendar and address book integration through Exchange Web Services. While the spotlight is on Exchange, Thunderbird's development continues in other areas too. A dedicated conversation view work week recently produced working prototypes of a Gmail-style threaded view, and progress has resumed on the long-stalled calendar UI rewrite. So that's pretty exciting. And then the article has the official announcement. Now, me personally, I think this is pretty exciting. I did pay for the Owl Exchange. It's like $10 for a year. It's fine. But this might be better. I wonder if this developer is rolling it into that. I kind of wonder what the I'd like to know more, actually.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, this is going to make my life easier. And it means at work. Now, so some people have big problems with their Outlook calendar. Like Outlook, I'm sure it's the Outlook in general. Like it'll just lock up and just stop working. This might be a good alternative for some people at work as well. So that's pretty exciting, I think.
My work has so much Microsoft lockdown. I bet it still won't work for me, but I will give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot. See if you
I
can.
will definitely give it a shot.
I mean, I would say I'm probably a pretty cool IT manager. I'd be all for it. You know, pushing people toward Thunderbird. I have like this scheme of mine. Hopefully, nobody from work is listening to this. I doubt it. But I want to. I'm choosing applications that are Windows and Linux capable. Like I'm kind of moving that direction. So I'm getting away from Adobe and things like that. So getting away from Outlook and using Thunderbird, that would be pretty cool. And then if maybe, just maybe, I could actually start implementing some Linux desktops, you know, that would be pretty cool. Probably something of the Dale low-tech Linux fame with what you've done with the transactional updates.
Yeah. I've got that working on 6 computers now, and so far so good.
Yeah, I looked at it, and I thought to myself, I don't know what I'm doing yet. So I'll probably have to talk with you offline about this, or probably set up a test case. I've got a NUC here that I took out of one of the conference rooms. Maybe I should play with that. It's a good idea,
Yeah.
Dale. So does anybody here find this useful besides me? Anybody? This is just like, am I the only excited?
No, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Jinda, I think he's just laughing at me. He's like, no, I don't care.
No, I think I want to try it out. Definitely.
I'll definitely try it out.
Yeah, I want to try it out for sure.
I found it surprising that Phoronix didn't cover this. I think.
They didn't cover it at all?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Maybe they're waiting for the release.
that could be. Yeah, it's Linux IAC. This one seems to be kind of a fairly new site, isn't it? Linux IAC?
Think so. I don't know how old, but a couple years maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I've heard of it.
It's definitely newer. Bobby Borisov. Yep, he did. There's another article that came out on the 16th of September about Thunderbird 143. What version of Thunderbird I'm running? I wonder if there'd be better integration with Plasma coming at all either. Too. It's not bad now. But so I have 140.3.
Better integration with what?
The Plasma desktop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's one reason I stick with Kmail. Number one, it's by far more configurable, almost to a fault, and it integrates with my Plasma much better. So I like Thunderbird. I don't have any problem against it. It's just at this current point in time, I prefer Kmail.
Gotcha. That's understandable. Yeah, the what is this? Betterbird. What is Betterbird? Is that
I
a,
use
is that a,
it. It's a
Fork. Thunderbird.
they actively fix problems with Thunderbird as it's released. Thunderbird has a history of letting some bugs slide through the cracks, and Betterbird's good about tackling those. So it's
Interesting.
100% compatible with Thunderbird and all the plugins.
Interesting.
Yeah, the search. When they redid Thunderbird's search mechanism with the UI rewrite,
Uh-huh.
it got really slow, and Thunderbird fixed that problem. That was and I was having a problem. I think we talked about this on another show, but I was having a problem where, like, when a mail came in on my IMAP on a specific account, I had multiple accounts, that a lot of times in the combined inbox, it shows the inbox for all incoming mail, it would show an email twice. And Betterbird solved that problem for me too. So
Well, they have a flat pack.
yep, it works really well. I mean, I've been using it for almost 2 years now.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna put that Betterbird that link in the show notes too.
It's super solid,
And also, since it's coming from the EU, I'm willing to bet it probably has a lot more of the privacy concern
Right.
adjustments as well.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yep. So like Dale, I too actually prefer Kmail, but I just didn't have. We just weren't getting along.
But one thing that I love about the Thunderbird ecosystem is the plugins, and the availability of what's out there is just amazing. I mean, I do this for some side things I do, but there's actually a mail merge add-on for Thunderbird that you can just feed it a CSV file or use an address book and send out, do a mail merge with emails. And there's another one I use is like a template where you can, set up some predefined templates for responses. And of course, the way it handles calendars is pretty nice. Being able to bring in any kind of calendar. So,
Right.
big fan of that product. So,
Well, I may check that one out too.
Yeah, I
because.
just moved. I just moved. I mean, I like Thunderbird, but I just moved to Betterbird because it solved some problems that I was having with
Yeah,
Thunderbird.
but it's the same core underneath, so.
Yeah, it is. It's the same, exactly the same code. They just fixed the bugs. But
Right. Cool. Well, all right. Well, another article from Linux IAC is a Bluefin LTS released. So any Bluefin fans here? So for those who don't know, Bluefin is it's an immutable Linux desktop. So the article says Bluefin LTS released immutable desktop on CentOS Stream 10. So Bluefin LTS released. So it's got FlatHub, ZFS, Homebrew, and 35-year long-term support. So after 9 months of development, the Bluefin team has officially released Bluefin LTS. Oh, I just heard a Discord thing. So and Bluefin GDX, however, since the name may not be particularly familiar to the average Linux user, let me introduce it. The distro started as a derivative of Fedora Silverblue, carrying over its immutable image-based approach while adding its own tooling for things like FlatHub, Homebrew, and ZFS. The mainline Bluefin and its GTS variants still follow the Silverblue model, aiming at a faster rolling style desktop. With the release of Bluefin LTS, though, the project has shifted to a new foundation. CentOS Stream 10 combined with EPEL. That change means Bluefin LTS isn't just a Fedora transplant anymore, still a purpose-built CentOS-based immutable desktop, updated atomically with boot C and designed for users who want a slower, more predictable release cadence lasting 3 to 5 years. In practice, the split for Bluefin Linux results in the following flavors. Bluefin mainline, immutable desktop built on Fedora Silverblue, updated atomically with boot C. Bluefin GTS, same as above, but tuned for stability and developer workflows. It's Silverblue based and immutable. Bluefin LTS, immutable as well, but based on CentOS Stream 10 instead of Silverblue, with a 3 to 5 year support cycle, and Bluefin GDX built on top of Bluefin LTS, also immutable, but preloaded with NVIDIA CUDA drivers and AI tooling. So now that we've clarified that, let's get back into the main topic. The new LTS and GDX releases. Bluefin LTS is built on CentOS Stream 10 and pulls extra packages from EPEL, but otherwise shares the same source RPMs as Bluefin and Bluefin GTS. I'm going to pause there for just a moment. Where does CentOS pull from Fedora? Is it built on
It's
Fedora?
downstream for Fedora.
So Fedora
It's upstream from Enterprise Linux Red Hat.
Okay. So it's kind of the middle ground between.
Fedora. Remember how they got rid of CentOS? So it became upstream for the end product of Red Hat
Right.
Enterprise.
Right.
So
Okay. So it's a little slower moving than Fedora. Got it.
yes, it's much slower.
Okay.
That thing they said what was it? EPEL is
Yes.
extra packages Enterprise Linux. And that's adds things that you can't add into the CentOS directly.
Right. Got it. Okay. So the updates applied atomically using boot C, and let's see. I'm not going to read everything exactly, but the new release includes backported GNOME 48, something the developers say was a key part of making an LTS release feel current. Bluefin also comes with secure boot support, ZFS integration, and updated installation experience via the new Anaconda web-based installer, which replaces the older setup tools. So it comes with Linux kernel 6.15, so better support for newer hardware like the Framework 12 and Framework Desktop. So switching between these branches can be done after installing as well with Ujust Rebase Helper. So the curated Bazaar, the new Flatpak App Store made especially for GNOME, it's not in there yet. Configuration is currently missing. Additional GNOME user share isn't included, and the HW branch doesn't support the secure boot at launch. Those gaps are flagged as errata with fixes expected later. Yeah, so I think that's pretty interesting. I guess I didn't really know a lot about the Flatpak, or just the Flatpak, the Fedora CentOS relationship there. So thanks for clarifying that as well. Anybody interested in Silverblue or CentOS Stream or Bluefin?
Not necessarily, no.
No. See, you're sporting a mustache there, Ben. Is that a new thing?
Yeah. My dad
So
and I were working on my beard, and we decided that you know, time to try something new.
So Daniel says, looks like they added the GPU drivers, which Alma and Rocky do not. Yeah, could be. So, and Eric, you're saying that Rocky's supposed to be RHEL compatible with bugs, and then Alma's supposed to be close to RHEL with differences.
Yeah, so Rocky's supposed to be as close as possible to RHEL with bugs. It's supposed to be bug for bug compatible. And then Alma does have differences. I forgot they have some notable differences some people like, but that will obviously cause maybe some issues. But they're not big changes overall. And this would be of course upstream, like the fork of an upstream CentOS. So it's not the end product like RHEL is.
Right. Okay. I wonder how that relates to, because I know Bazite is based on Bluefin, I thought. Or no, there's something else. Like something else blue. I don't remember now. Universal blue. All right, so now I'm confused. How does
this compare to Universal Blue, or what do you mean?
Yeah? Where does Universal Blue fit in on this?
Universal Blue is like upstream. It's like the whole infrastructure, I think, and this is a distro below that, just like Aurora is. This is Bluefin, Aurora, and Bazite. So this is like a different distro than Bazite, but they're all downstream from the UBlue project. I think that's how that works.
Okay.
Because the UBlue is like the main, I think, as infrastructure, and these are the distros that they make.
Right. Okay. So, if Bluefin is based on
Bluefin uses GNOME, and then Aurora uses KDE Plasma, and Bizide I think uses both, but it's gaming focused.
right. So Zoron says there's no Universal Blue Edition. I think he's making a joke.
Even with the other ones, I think I'm not sure about Bazide because I installed that, and I think I added like not the LTS but a different branch.
Okay.
And it wasn't giving me any faster updates. But I know for Aurora does have like the regular stable branch, and then they have stable daily, and they have I think latest or something like that. They don't recommend that. I think they say the stable daily, which I use, is for enthusiasts. Because otherwise, I think you get updates like once a week. And if you were to run Silverblue directly or a Kinoite, it's just like Fedora, but it's immutable. They don't hold back packages. Um, the different distros under UBlue, they try to test them and then they hold back some packages until they feel it's ready, and then they ship them to you.
Okay. Got it. I think. What are you running right now?
Aurora DX, stable daily. The DX gives you some development things, including Virtual Manager.
Okay.
I think DistroBox I think comes with everything. Um, and I think they also gave me what is that? They gave me Visual Studio with the DX part. Um, if you go into you want the command, which is like built into everything that's uBlue,
Hmm.
and then you put rebase helper or something like that. It takes you if you want to change to a different branch from the regular stable one.
So
And if
could
you
you
wanted to
go?
add DX, huh?
Could you go from with that you just? Could you go to like Bazite from there?
You could, and you could switch to GNOME, but I think they've said in the past like they let you do it if you want. I don't know if this the helper lets you, but there is a way you can do it yourself. The problem is whenever you switch desktops, there's always a problem that something will conflict because of your different config files. So in theory, you could like delete those, I guess, and then transfer over. But it's not recommended just rebase. Even though everybody always says that with Immutable you can just rebase, it's not recommended because there is the potential for conflicts going from one desktop to a different one.
So that's with the user at the user level, not necessarily at the um, operating system level. So like if you had a different account, like a Cubicle Night 2,
Oh,
that was just
yeah, that's a whole different thing, and that's the kind of like the way you can run different desktops within any distro, right? Like if you're
mhm,
running like say Ubuntu, you can just install a desktop to a certain username and just use it with that username. And if you want to log into a different one, everything's separate, right? Because of
right,
the different configs to the user. But most people just try to run everything together, which usually causes an issue.
right. Gotcha. Okay. I know when I ran the we did the desktop some time ago, the NS not so common desktop environment, the NSCDE, that kind of messed with my configs a little bit, but I just changed it back. It wasn't a big deal. It was not a big deal. But anyway, well, cool. That's neat. Now I'm kind of curious. So, Eris, how long have you been doing the the immutable desktop or whatever, atomic desktop or cloud ready, whatever you want to call it? How long
I
have you been on
don't
that?
know, maybe like 6 months off and on because I did stop using it. I went to Ubuntu LTS, and I tried Kinoite. I forgot exactly why I stopped using Kinoite. I came pretty close because I got it. Oh, because I ran into an issue because I put the codecs in and virtual Vertman and I forgot what else. I put like a couple of things in, but of course those are a lot of packages,
Hmm.
and I was having issues upgrading, I think. But the problem I couldn't figure out is it was because I overlaid too many things, or was because I was ahead of RPM Fusion. I think that maybe that was the issue, because RPM Fusion, it's for separate from the main distro,
Right.
and sometimes they fall behind a little bit. I don't know if that's what happened. I wanted to do a VM, and I keep forgetting to set that up to see if my configs would work. They just needed time for RPM Fusion to catch up because I was having issues with some kind of codec or something to upgrade.
Yeah, I've had that with Tumbleweed a few times where something changes and there's no it breaks something like it doesn't break, but like it won't let me do an update because I have to change repositories, and so I can't update through.
Yeah, it says something like some kind of like codec is not available or something, and you need it or
Mhm.
something, and then it wouldn't let me upgrade.
Okay, yeah, I know that pain, and that was with the immutable.
That was a Kinoite. I was running
Okay.
Kinoite, and I overlaid the codecs and Word Manager. I think DistroBox, just those things. But I mean, that's a
Mhm.
lot. Like I just did the big packages. I didn't like limit certain packages, I guess. I know some people try to run Silverblue and Kinoite without doing the codecs, and then just run Firefox, and they make sure to use, I think, Celluloid or something, because that will get the codecs from FlatHub, and you don't need to run them directly on the desktop itself.
Okay.
Um, but I didn't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I remember somebody recommending that as well. Instead of installing the codecs, just do everything in Flatpak. So like Flatpak
Yeah.
VLC, Flatpak Kdenlive, Flatpak everything, and then you don't have to worry about that. But then you can't preview like things in Dolphin if you do that. So that would be one downside.
And the thing that I liked about Kinoite is that I don't know, this might be a minor thing, but my kernel was untainted. And if you run I think Aurora or whatever, they're always tainted because they add those other modules into the kernel, I think.
How can you tell if your kernel is tainted?
Oh, with Plasma, you go to settings, and then you search for security, I think, or something, or info. Let me see, info. I know there's a security part or something. So it's firmware security. Yeah, and there you can see it says everything. And my Linux kernel is tainted.
My Linux kernel is also tainted.
Yeah.
What do I have that's tainted my kernel?
Maybe some drivers, running proprietary drivers.
Probably. I think I have NVIDIA installed. That would do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, as far as I know, yes.
So Zoron says, is a tainted kernel a security risk?
Not necessarily, but it's like it's better if it's not tainted.
Yeah. Is this the Richard Stallman standard?
Well, technically, because if you run like, let's say, secure boot, right? You're trusting that the kernel it has everything correctly, and you're booting into, like, let's say, grub, and then grub passes it to the kernel. You want everything to be clean, but of course, that's why people tell you not to run VirtualBox, because this VirtualBox is not built to the kernel. You got to add it later, and that messes up with your kernel and all these things.
That could do it too, because I'm running
Yeah.
VirtualBox. That might be tainting my kernel.
That probably is. Yeah, I stopped running VirtualBox, even though the thing I love about VirtualBox is that you can easily do bridging with wirelessly. Like, you can't do that with Vertman easily. I don't even know if you can with wireless. I know you can do it with Ethernet, but
Yeah. Yeah. Bridging. That is a nice feature, because I think I had a hard time getting it to work with Virt Manager. Now, the reason I run, the reason I'm running VirtualBox is because I don't use it all the time, but I use it just for a Windows 11 build that is only for work. So it's something that's actually on the domain and everything else too. And the reason I like it is because it automatically nicely adjusts, and the performance is a little bit better on Windows VMs, I find, than on Virt Manager. But that's really the only reason why.
sometimes it just works better with distros. I've noticed also when I used to run it, it would just work sometimes better with VirtualBox. Even though people always say that Vertman has better performance, I don't know. Sometimes there's like issues that pop up, I think. I don't know why exactly.
I think on some, I find I prefer running Linux distributions on Virt Manager and Windows on VirtualBox. That's what I generally prefer. And although I will say, I've actually had pretty good experience with running like Windows server-based stuff on Vertman. So I don't know. So War Thunder says, I have VirtualBox for some Windows software needs, but I largely use my Proxmox to test distros and VMs. And Proxmox probably uses KVM, I'm guessing, underneath.
I actually did run Trixie also, and everything worked pretty good, except Plasma was a little bit buggy. I think felt
Oh, really?
just a tiny bit. Like I remember when I booted the ISO, and I stopped using my computer, my laptop monitor into the external monitor. I think I lost my panel, and I don't think this ever happened with any other version of Plasma. So it was a tiny bit off. I guess I could have stayed there, but
With Trixie?
see.
Yeah, I've probably no surprise to anybody here, but I've been the Debian servers that I've had running. Some of them I'm actually going to
Bullseye?
open. So at work, instead of going from the bookworm was 12, right?
I hated how they used those B names. I can't keep them straight. Like, which one's the last one? They should have a rule like Ubuntu that you have to go to the next letter. It
Right,
forces
they
you to go
should.
to the next one.
So let's see. Bookworm. So 11 was Bullseye, then it was Bookworm, and now it's Trixie. The next one is 4key. Then after that's
Yeah.
Duke. They just announced the code name.
So you went down to Bullseye? Is that what you're saying?
No. Instead of going from Bookworm to Trixie
To Trixie?
or Bullseye to Bookworm, a few of those servers actually I rebased on OpenSUSE Leap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's actually a really good server distro, I think. Except I had to compile the PHP IMAP library because the folks at OpenSUSE basically considered a security. It doesn't pass security muster essentially. So anyway, so Zoronin says, "What happens when they run out of Toy Story characters? Oh, do they have a buzz?
They keep making new movies, so they're not gonna run out. There's so many. I mean, there's probably like at least 30 more, I'm guessing.
Yeah, something
And they
like
go
that.
every 2 years. That would be like 60 years at least.
So we have Buzz, Rex, Bo, Ham, Slink, Potato, Woody, Sarge, Etch, Lenny. Lenny's the first one I used. No, that's not true. Woody's the first one I used. So they already got Buzz and Woody already out. Squeeze, Wheezy, Jesse. I remember using Jesse quite a bit. Stretch, Buster, Bullseye, Bookworm, and Trixie. And Forky. Yeah, we got a long ways. I think Wheezy was one of my favorites. The character, I should say. But anyway, good times.
Potato was 2.2 on the Rita, if you like Potato. That already happened.
So I think then Sid, the crazy one, that's the rolling.
Yeah, if you love Sid, you can always be on Sid forever.
Yeah, that's true.
He breaks toys, people say.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. He breaks all the toys. That's funny. All right. Okay, so next here on the list, I didn't read this one with a whole lot of depth. So, but Ubuntu 25.10's Rust core utilities transition has uncovered performance shortcomings. So from Phoronix, the transition using Rust Coreutils in place of GNU Coreutils has uncovered a few performance issues so far, with Rust versions being slower than the C-based GNU Coreutils. Fortunately, there are still a few weeks to go until Ubuntu 25.10 releases as stable, and upstream developers are working to address these performance gaps. The recent Core Utilities 0.2.2 release with faster base 64 turned out to stem from Ubuntu's developer pointing out the performance disparity. That base64 issue was raised in this bug report and quickly resolved in Rust's core utilities to end up providing even better performance than GNU core utilities base64. A bug report opened last week in CK sum being up to 17 times slower than GNU for some large files. A test case that provided the CK sum utility being so slow. The Utils lead developer was able to reproduce the performance issue and currently working through some patches to improve the performance of CK sum. There's also a bug report raised for Rust core utilities sort command not finishing the sort process for large one-line files. The real-world use case may be limited to the issue being tracked down to as being another performance problem. We'll see what more performance issues with Rust core utils are discovered and addressed prior to the Ubuntu 25.10 release in October. What was important is getting these significant underlying changes being made to Ubuntu in good shape ahead of the all-important Ubuntu 26.04 LTS release in April. There's some comments here. I'm going to look at some of these comments. So
There's another post more recently that there's also about Rust core utils, and it's causing major breakages for some executables.
Yeah, so it also, yeah. So a number of benchmarks failing to run in Ubuntu 25.10 this week with reported checksum errors on the files. Quickly realized that's due to the recent Rust core utils transition in 25.10 causing some major breakage in those relying on make self archives. Beyond Ubuntu's developer dealing with some performance regressions due to moving to Rust core utils from GNU core utils, some subtle differences in Rust are also causing functionality regression in Ubuntu 25.10. This week when working on some of the Ubuntu 25.10 benchmarks, this is Michael Larabelle, was surprised to find some MD5 checksum errors being hit, such as when running unengine benchmarks and their built-in MD5 detection was now failing, or with Gravity Mark benchmark also now having MD5 error. This was initially quite surprising since all of the benchmark files are cached locally on LAN server and all checksummed as well. So the same exact files that he always used for those benchmarks were being run, and they have always run fine on other Linux distributions without ever hitting MD5 errors. So some unfortunate breakage with Ubuntu 25.10 due for release in less than 2 weeks. All this make self breakage was confirmed with the latest Ubuntu 25.10 daily release as of today, which is yesterday. So we'll see if the core Rust utilities can be resolved in time for launch day to avoid common make self files from breaking on Ubuntu, plus any other scripts that may be relying on GNU core utils MD5 sum behavior. That actually sounds a lot more serious.
That is serious.
So, Slurm Initiative says, I think the move to Rust is a good one overall, but it's not without some teething issues. I know because the Rust is memory safe programming and C is not. So that's a lot of the push of it, right?
Well, that's not quite true.
Okay.
By default, Rust is memory safe. That is, it defaults to not allowing you to change variable values.
Okay.
You have to go in and tell it to do that. Whereas C, it's assumed you'll change the development value, although you can do the same thing in C. It's just a different philosophy for the language, you know.
Okay, so then will be just how you architect when you
Right.
define the variables.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then, if memory safe programming can be done in C, then what's the push for Rust?
That's a good question.
Dale looks like he might know. He's giving the north and south here.
No, I'm agreeing. That's a very good question.
I
Um,
was going to ask the same thing. Why Rust?
well, I'll give you my opinion.
Okay.
And this is Mike's opinion, so take it for what it's worth, okay? Um, in all the years that I've been programming, and there's been a lot of them, there's one thing that's certain, is that there's always a new language, a new technology, a new library, a new architecture. Everybody thinks is going to solve all the problems in programming, okay? This is a recurring theme that happens over and over and over. And you're seeing this happening with Rust. It's the same thing. That Rust is a great language. It has a lot of advantages over C. There are some things that are more complicated in Rust than they are in C. But overall, I think it's a better language, but it's also a much newer language and less immature, a lot more immature than C is. My question is, why would you change rock solid utilities that have been vetted, debugged, worked out, optimized over X number of years with something that is none of those? Just for the sake of changing. Because I can't come up with a real reason of why they're making this change.
I think so. What Slimmer Initiative put in the chat, I think, is probably the reason. So it's easier to find Rust skills more than C going forward. And I don't know if that's. And I think I know with like a lot of younger programmers, I have heard for years that Rust is being pushed more than C, for one reason or the other. So that could be part of it. I don't think we're going to see C go away. It's never going to disappear.
No, it never will.
It's not in my lifetime. Maybe someday. Maybe when it's
Well,
replaced by.
Fortran's still technically around. Cobalt's still technically around, right?
Yeah. Well, C is nice because it's close to the machine code that you can get without writing assembler code.
Right.
And so so it's used in high performance applications. Rust does the same thing because its compiler is designed from the ground up. But I'm not saying that Rust is a bad language or anything. I'm just asking the question that I have that I can't see a reason for is why change all these things out now when you have a community that's supporting these utilities in C.
Well,
right?
It could be that because the puck is going toward Rust right now, that
But
Ubuntu's probably trying to get ahead of it.
This happens all the time, Nate. You know this. I know you've seen it in your years in IT. You have something that comes. I mean, we just went through this whole JavaScript thing, right? Where everybody thought that JavaScript was the absolute best language to program in forever and ever, and it's not. Okay, and finally we're coming down off of that a little bit. That was the last one, and now it's turning into this Rust, the Church of Rust, basically, And I'm not against the change, but I think you have to have a reason to change, and I've yet to see a reason, in my opinion at least, with all my years of development experience, that has shown me that it's worth making the change at this point. Why not release those utilities as an optional pack and say you can use the GNU C utilities or you can use the Rust,
I think they did that for 2504. No, the one before this one, not the current one. Yeah, you could install it if you wanted the different utils separately.
No,
Whichever you wanted.
I never saw that. That's why I'm running this 2404 LTS. I never saw anything like that when I upgraded it. But I don't know. I mean, maybe they
did you read the the blog post in Discord Ubuntu where the engineer says why he's doing this? Wait,
Yes, I did.
okay. I'll post the link just in case anybody wants to read that.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I mean, ultimately it's their decision, but this, again, you're looking at a super stable. The whole purpose of an operating system is to give you a stable, reliable platform to run your programs on. And this is like, instead of giving these utilities the testing that they need as an option, they're going to force them on you to test them, and to me, that's just not the way you do things. So, I mean, I hope it works out. I mean, I have no problem with Rust or these utilities. And if the market, says that there's more Rust developers, which I'm not sure that's true, then so be it, But it just seems like this is following that idea that it's the newest thing, so we have to do it. That's my thoughts on it. So take it for what it's worth.
I think, and I could be wrong on this, but it seems like maybe Rust code is a little bit cleaner, and I think since also more new talent is using Rust over C, I guess. But I don't know. I'm not. We're not even looking for, at least where I'm at, programmers that can do C or Rust. We're more interested in actually C#, yes. But I don't think it. Yeah. I think it's a good experiment. So Master Billy Quizboy, which that's a fun name. So a big push for Rust is the EU's CRA, which I don't even know what that is. What's a CRA? Cyber Resilience Act. Improving cybersecurity and cyber resilience in the EU through common cybersecurity standards for products with digital elements in the EU, such as required incident reports and automatic security updates. Products with digital elements. So then why would Rust be part of that? Yeah, and I agree that Slurm, if you want open source to stay healthy, you have to attract new talent. I totally get it. So look at the digital strategy thing. I don't know. I wonder if the EU even knows what cyber resilience is. Maybe it does. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see how things shake out. Sometimes it's also not a bad idea to like replace old code with new code because it's been patched so many times. But yeah, I don't really know. So Master Billy Quizboy says that it does mandate Rust, but Rust is intrinsically memory safe. I think we were just saying earlier that C can be as well. And the Linux kernel is mostly in C, I believe. Not even C++. I believe it's C.
Yeah, mostly in C.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess who is there a foundation that controls Rust? I don't even know anything about Rust.
There usually is for every language. Yeah, rustfoundation.org.
Independent nonprofit community. So is everything that built Rust also open source?
I
Not
thought
sure.
one of the things was they said that Rust was better for our memory.
Well, everybody says that because it's immutable. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right, that's what they meant by that.
That's where they get that from.
Yeah, because I'm confused. I mean, I get you have to change with the times, and I get that the older C gets, the less it is. But
Well, you still
why can't
you
you can't you fix part of C and make new things in it? I mean,
Well, you can make C immutable. You can make C++
right,
immutable if you want. I mean,
right.
yeah. So I think I mean you still have to build when they work on the language. You still have to build it somehow, right?
Yeah,
So something that because you're still. I don't know. I'm not really sure when it goes beyond that. Like when you actually write a language, the underpinnings of that, the compiled code for that language, how that all works. I don't actually know.
well, my biggest concern about this whole situation is that you have a code base of utilities that has been again been optimized, debugged, you know, working fine for the most part over the years. And now you're just going to change it all because this new programming language came along that's supposed to be, quote, better, unquote. And I mean, that's the crux of it. Yeah, you can argue the details, but when you strip all the fat away, that's what's left. So
I'll just keep working with Python and Java myself.
there you go. There you go.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, cool. I wonder what's going to shake out from that. So if if it's supposed to release in 2 weeks, have you read anywhere, like, are they going to delay the release of it, or are they going to just not push those utilities? Does anybody know?
What the official word is?
Yeah.
I don't think they have decided. I think they're gonna wait to see. My guess is they're gonna have to push it back because they're not gonna just test for one release and then right and then ship it. They're gonna have to push it back until the next LTS at least.
Yeah, I would think. It's interesting nonetheless. All right, and then near and dear to all of our hearts, we should probably have a chat about this. By near and dear to all of our hearts, that was sarcasm. So don't miss this Windows 10 deadline for another year for free support.
All that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Microsoft ends support for Windows 10 on October 14th. Make sure you enroll in the company's extended security update program before then. This deadline to upgrade to Windows 11 is nearly here, with support for Windows 10 ending on October 14th. If your PC isn't compatible with a newer OS, or if you're not ready to upgrade, then you have some options. Earlier this week, Microsoft confirmed in a statement to Windows Central that customers in the European Economic Area will be eligible for free security updates for next year. If you're in the US, however, you'll need to take action to extend your support through Microsoft's Extended Security Updates program. The ESU program provides critical and important security updates for unsupported OSs, but it does not include new features, bug fixes, or technical support. In addition, Microsoft planned to charge all users $30 to enroll in the ESU program to keep Windows 10, but it recently announced 2 free options. So how to set up for Windows 10 Extended User Security Update, or you can switch to Linux. Previously limited to insiders, the program is now open to all individual users with Windows 10 devices running 22H2. Look for an enrollment wizard through notifications and in settings. Microsoft says you can enroll in the ESU program after October 14th, but your computer will be unprotected and Microsoft will only provide coverage through October 13th, 2026 for now. So, should you stick with Windows 10? Stricter hardware requirements for Windows 11 means that some Windows 10 users can't upgrade their aging PCs to the newest OS. There's a workaround, though Microsoft doesn't officially support it. If you're looking for an affordable Windows 11 PC, they don't exist. You can just put Linux on there. That's what the article says, I'm sure. Anyway,
That's all.
Could you read those bullet points just for the options?
Sure.
This one.
So, cash in 1,000 points for Microsoft's reward program. You earn points by using Microsoft services. Downloading the Bing app alone, for example, gets you 500 points. Sync your Windows back up to Microsoft OneDrive. While Microsoft won't charge you anything extra for picking this option, you might need to buy extra OneDrive storage to fit your backup. By default, you only get 5 gigabytes for free. The third option is the original one. Pay $30 to receive critical updates for 1 year. Or install Linux. Those are 3 available options. So if you miss the deadline, those are your options. You got to entangle yourself further into the Microsoft ecosystem. Which
I was watching somebody on YouTube. I can't remember who it was. They were talking about this, and they were saying that sales for the Copilot Plus PCs that Microsoft is pushing so hard with Windows 11 have just been dismal, and
Really?
that's why they've decided to lengthen the life on Windows 10. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a rumor, you know.
So at work, there are certain people that are getting the Copilot license, the add-on for Office 365.
Right.
And so it integrates into your Office experience and whatnot. I guess it's based on GPT-5, I think. I don't recall. 4.5 or 5. Anyway, it was offered to me. I don't want it. I'm just going to stick with my ways of doing things, because I'm a Luddite, I guess. Except I do use AI sometimes. So anyway, there are some neat features, I think, with the Copilot, which is summarizing emails. So I don't know if you guys get like hammered with emails at all, but you can it's summarizing emails. I think is really huge. By the way, there's an extension for Thunderbird, little callback here, where you can actually do that all locally as well. Zoran says this is Jippity. Yep, that's right. I think I heard that on Linux Unplugged. That's what Chris Fisher, he says that. It made me laugh every time. So, yeah, I don't know.
I also posted that link from The Verge, and Consumer Reports had asked Microsoft to keep supporting Windows 10. They said no, I guess, by their silence, but they did make that a public call.
Yeah, they actually sent a letter. Wow. You know, they can just use Linux. I mean, what are you really losing with Windows? Okay, so you can't use. I mean, you can get the Microsoft Office thing working, so that does work with. You have to pay for crossover Linux, from Codeweavers, but it works. I use it sometimes.
It does work. The latest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Office 365 works. Office, the non-365 one doesn't work, apparently. I haven't tried it. I think 2021 or something like that.
The last, non-subscription one?
Yeah. I think maybe, what's like QuickBooks? I don't know if that works or not, but I think that might be something that people need. I suppose the Adobe things people need, but there's alternatives. You can shift away from that. I mean, just all they have to do is watch Dale do InkStitch, and then they know that you don't need the Adobe Creative Suite. Which, by the way, have you seen I've seen some videos where that if you have the Adobe Creative Suite to try and get out of it, like they fleece you trying to get out of subscription as well.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I've seen that.
Yeah.
You know who else does that? Surprisingly,
Who's that?
is Proton Mail.
Really?
If you become a paid subscriber, they want to charge you $25 to disable your account. Yep.
$25 to disable your what? I'm sorry.
To disable your account. If you decide to leave Proton Mail.
You gotta pay them to disable it?
Yeah.
How does that work? What if you just stop paying them?
Well, that's what I did. I just pulled my card. And they said, well, you owe us this. I said, well, take me to court.
That seems a little dirty. I pay for private email for my cubiclenate.com address.
Yeah, I just use their VPN. I don't use their email. Well, actually, I do use I use their email, but I use the free plan. I don't use
Yeah, you're
the
fine on
paid
that.
plan.
Yeah, you can't use a mail client with a free plan, so I don't want to use it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the little proxy program you have to run is kind of a pain to get it to work
Yeah.
for the paper.
I'm honestly considering just disabling my Proton account while I still can. But,
And Rita also uses the free version of Proton VPN. So Zoran says, hot take, I would love to see Adobe even try to support Linux. Even if it sucks, even if it's the same evil subscription, I would still appreciate them for it. I agree. You give people options. If somebody wants to be fleeced by Adobe, that should be, that's your choice. It's not my choice, but if you want to do that, go forth and do great things. I don't care.
I mean, in fairness, if you're a graphic designer, that is the tool of tools to use,
Right.
But for us normal people, no thanks.
Well, actually, there's a couple more I'd love to get through here. Articles. We are very slow at this. Or rather, I'm very slow at this. So MX25 Infinity, or Beta 1 ISOs are available for testing purposes. So I know we have some MX Linux fans here. There's Jinda. Have you downloaded the beta yet?
Of course, but I did KDE this time.
Did you?
Yeah, I you always went back and forth from KDE to XFCE for some reason. I don't know why.
It's like
And,
rotating your tires, right?
Yeah, just rotating the tires. I've been running on a DM. I've been beating it to daylights. I think I've installed it twice already because I pounded it so good I killed it. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. There's nothing to say about it other than it's MX Linux. We already know what's there.
Yeah. So it's available for testing, and it's built from Debian 13, Trixie, and MX repositories, along with the Antix Live system. Systemd and sysv init editions are provided and supported. For those that want them, XFCE AHS, what's that? Flexbox are available in sysv init variants. So this also means that there is no more 32-bit support.
which distro is this again?
MX Linux.
Oh, so they're doing like everybody else is doing and dropping 32-bit.
Well, it's built on Debian, so.
Oh, it's built
I
into
think-
Debian. Oh.
I think they had earlier announced that Antix is still gonna do 32-bit, even though I think Debian dropped it, but they're somehow still doing 32-bit. But MX can't do it because Debian dropped it.
Gotcha. So we still have Antix. Antix is going to somehow keep it going.
Yeah, keep it going somehow.
So I definitely, when that gets released, I'd like to do a distro exploration on MX Linux.
I'd be down to do that. I haven't looked at MX and I don't know how daggone long.
Probably the last time we did it here. 2
I
years
tell
ago.
you, when Jinda and I were debugging that problem, I loaded it up in virtual. I was very impressed with it.
Yeah.
I like their tools. They have really nice tools.
Yeah, the tools make the program.
Yeah.
Yep. And so speaking of creative software, so Kdenlive, I don't know if you've used that for any sort of editing. I actually just used it to put together a video of picture collages for someone in my church had a baby shower. So, by the way, I don't like going to baby showers.
Nor do I, for that matter.
It's not for dudes, but I
No,
had to
it's not
run
for
the
dudes.
AV system. So
It's not for people like us, Nate.
no, it certainly is not. So developers are working on open source video editor Kdenlive. They have shared details of upcoming features discussed and worked on in recent sprint in Berlin, Germany. Among notable changes on the way is a dope sheet feature development. Dope sheet? Is that how it's? Yeah. Which has been funded by a grant from NGI Zero Commons Fund via NLNet to developer Jean Baptiste Mardell. Sorry if I butchered your name. Blender users may be familiar with dope sheets. They make it easier to work with keyframes and edits through a dedicated UI, knowing where keyframes are and what to do. Provides options for more precise control and how animations and effects behave. Better keyframe control in Kdenlive will make it easier to create complex edits.
What?
So last dope sheets feature is not expected to arrive in Kdenlive's next release due December, as the design implementation is not yet fully realized. Yet simply knowing it is in the works is exciting enough for the author. And me. Can't wait to see it. So December's planned release of Kdenlive will ship with several UI and workflow improvements. The project bin and render sections will be renamed to media and export. A label rejig might not sound impactful, but the nomenclature is more in line with what other nonlinear editors use, which those switching to Kdenlive will appreciate. The team have also made changes to the timeline toolbar and monitor interface. The aim here is to provide users with a cleaner workspace. For instance, the audio view meter in the monitor UI is being made into a collapsible vertical widget to free space in the toolbar. Further out, there are more interesting features coming into frame. Being able to save user interface layouts on a per project basis will make it much easier to create workspace customizations for specific tasks like color grading, audio mixing, or regular editing. So, hurrah! That's what Kdenlive developers are looking into. Discussions are also touching on adding animation presets in the title bar, potentially using latte animations or a QML producer. Is it latte? Lottie maybe? Lottie for MLT. Animations for QML producer for MLT. Though tentative, either option would let editors create more dynamic titles, credits, and lower thirds. Kdenlive is already popular with open source enthusiasts, but with feature cadence, catering to pro and prosumer workflows, it could become an attractive option for those currently wedded to cloud source and even more costly commercial editors. Well, I think that's exciting. Anybody here use Kdenlive? I just used it. Yeah, I totally just used it this week.
I never did.
I use it all the time.
It's pretty neat. I got this. Well, it was this past week when I was in the hotel room going through my emails, my personal emails. Amazon said this may be something that interests you, and sure enough, it is. So I'm not going to turn it on, but it's a programmable keypad, like with what I want. So I'm intending on configuring this to using input remapper, which Eris introduced me to like use this as a scrub wheel and everything else, so I can actually have like an editor thing. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to implement it. But I just got this yesterday and just started playing with it, and it works actually very well in Linux, although they don't claim any Linux support. But it's just an HID compliant device with some things already pre-programmed in there. So anyway, pretty cool. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet though, so I'll figure it out. Anyway, so actually it is about that time for housekeeping. So we'll go ahead and hop to that. So next week is an application appetizer. I don't know if what you're thinking about for that. If anyone had any suggestions on that, I didn't get any suggestions in my email. So even though I keep asking for them.
Why don't we do backup programs?
Backup programs? I think have we done that before? Eris, do you know?
Let me look that up. I don't remember.
I don't remember doing back. I mean, it seems like we've done something like that. Nope, it's not there.
It doesn't come up easy, at least I don't think so.
We can do that. So you do maybe like backup, we can do backup applications and we can also do, or like maybe like NAS solutions, things like that, maybe a little bit broader. So more than just more than just the applications, but also application stacks. So Danny Gaunt says, I thought we did already. We might have, but it's a good one, I think, to talk about. I know we've talked about it before.
Yeah, we've talked about backups before, probably about a month ago, I think. But since I've been around, I can't remember us doing one on the actual backup programs.
I got a Linux Out Loud listener feedback episode, but that's not what we want. Yeah, I don't see anything.
We
No,
did system or desktop tools. Maybe that's what we're thinking of.
It could have been. System or desktop. Yeah, we did system or desktop tools. November of last year. Let's see, we did Mission Center. I never actually tried that one out. I'm looking at old show notes. This looks pretty cool. Okay.
It might have come up on one of those potluck appetizers.
It could be. Yeah, I think it could be.
Another one, have you guys ever done like screen capture utilities?
No,
I don't think so either.
I think I've done that one.
There's a lot of those out there.
Yeah. Well, we could look at the StormOS screen recorder that we recently released.
There you go.
Well, we
So
did. We did screen record applications
When
20th July 2024.
that is true. I mean, have we done a web browser in a while?
So, but Chowka and other file system maintenance stuff we did.
Yeah, we did. Huh.
What?
FreeTube. That would be fun.
Let's do that. Let's do like a backup special this time.
Backups. Ooh, that might be a fun one.
Or I guess now we just talked about it today.
Yeah. Backups. That's something I haven't really played around with, so that might be a fun one.
What about Deja Dupe? Yeah, that's a backup one.
Deja Dupe, yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Cool. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll maybe turn into something a little bit more a
Universal.
way to discuss different ways that we secure our data and so forth. So different ways of backing up your stuff. So and then maybe Daniel can get on here and he can talk about his solutions.
That too.
DD alternatives specifically for you, Dale, according to Daniel.
What are we talking about? I had to step out.
Oh, no, he said for next week, we're going to bring different backup solutions, talk about those, and talk about NAS or whatever, how we utilize them, but it's different applications that we use for backing up. And then Daniel fired shots at you saying DD alternatives.
Ouch.
You can use cat instead of DD.
Just gonna use I'm just gonna use Firefox. Firefox and Google Drive. There you go.
Fantastic.
I
think
can't
those are good
break it.
solutions too. Also for you, those for you salooners that want to give suggestions, so send any discussion, distribution, or application suggestions to suggestions@linuxsaloon.com or in the Telegram and Discord channels as well. And then, so I think we're going to go ahead and hop to the community free pour. the Nobel promise of StormOS. So what say you?
You start, Ben.
All right. So recently we put out Storm Jarl, but there's a caveat. The team and I have discussed, Ricky, Red, and I, and there has been a lot of versions that we've been bouncing back and forth with, and that. And I talked to them today, and we've decided that given all this back and forth crap that we've been dealing with and stuff, we've decided it's probably best to just stick with one or two and cut away the rest. So, truth be told, yeah,
Yeah, because at one point we were at what, at
yeah,
four
we're just
different distributions at this point?
we had four at one point, and we just decided to trim it down to one or two and leave it like that because the longest the thing is we never planned to have, and I never as the main maintainer, we're I never planned to have that many distros at once. So truth be told, it's too much heck and work to try and maintain up a dozen ISOs. So I talked to Seeker and I talked to Ricky about this, and they agree. So heck with it. We're gonna trim it down to one or two, leave it at that. Right, Red? Because I
Yeah,
mean, it was
we're
fun
gonna
trying to have up a dozen ISOs, but when you get to that point, you've cut your teeth on a bit too many versions. So yeah, it's a pain in the neck to try and run that many systems at once. And plus, I don't have enough hardware to cut my teeth on that many distros.
yeah.
And long story short, basically, we're gonna keep the main one, StormOS, and we're gonna just, we might keep one more, one more, as a side project, but I don't know. That may be a bit, even then it might be a bit
Ambitious?
too much
Hmm.
a bit too ambitious. You're right, Nate. Yeah. But anyway, that's sort of my end of the update. Oh, Vince, very funny, buddy. But
Well,
Yep, this is true. So I'm
but
glad you're finally taking
anyway,
my suggestion
so
and
yeah,
pulling back a little bit. So it only took a year
yeah,
for you to
yeah,
actually listen to
and
me.
yeah, that's my end of the update for this week. But
hmm.
Red, what did you have to say?
No, I'm just working on
The
well,
new browser?
yeah, it's basically a mixture of a lot of the most popular browsers and all their features and everything they can add. I'm actually just working on just a small one right now. It's just called Nexus. I started just for whatever reason I just decided to call it Nexus. Uh,
What's that built from? Out of curious.
no, it's Qt Chromium. Qt Chromium.
It's a Qt browser. Cool.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it Chromium based? Firefox? What?
no Qt Web Engine.
Oh, cool. Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, it's
Well,
not much.
well, you guys can look forward to trying that out in the next version of StormOS then.
Mhm.
Which right now we have no, that'll probably be in the next month's ISO, if not the month after.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got to work on it again.
Yeah,
Good.
we'll look at getting that out very soon. So,
the one she calls the waning moon.
yeah.
Well, neat.
Anywho, so yeah, that's our
So
community free spot.
so
for
just
this-
just
for this.
to recap. So you're going to limit your focus to like which variants of StormOS?
The Arch version
The
is just going
flagship.
to be that. And then we're probably going to limit it to that primarily, and then Stormjaro, we're probably going to cut that and just stick to only one or two. That's it.
What is the second one did you want to work on? Did you want to keep Thunder?
The Ubuntu edition, which
Which
is,
is the
I'm just going to state this right now. It doesn't have any snaps, no flat packs, no nothing like that. So if you guys want that, that's on the community. It's not gonna come with any mumbo jumbo like that. It's strictly apt packages. That's it.
yeah.
Cool. Well, sounds like fun. Could build it off of Mint, and then you can have flat packs.
Hmm.
I don't know. Just thought.
Right, right. It's sort of similar to Mint, just done from a pure Ubuntu base without snaps or flat packs or anything like that. And we decided to completely cut compiz from all our distros. We're not including that anymore because one, it's barely maintained, and two, the when it is maintained, the package updates to that it turns into a cluster F. So we pretty much just decided to completely can it, and we're sticking to stock XFWM4. That's it. And our Ubuntu base is going to be strictly it's not going to be XFCE. It's going to be Unity based, actually.
Unity based.
Yes, it's going to be based off the Unity desktop. Now it's going to be built from Ubuntu Minimal. It's not going to be built from Ubuntu Unity itself. So that way we can include what packages we want, and it's going to be completely. Well, actually, we're going to start with a Ubuntu base, but we're going to clear out XFCE, install Unity and whatever packages on top of it, because the problem is we would start from a Ubuntu mini thing, but we don't have a dead package for the builder that we use, Wolfland Builder. So we're going to take a bare bones vanilla XFCE, rip it out, and then put in Unity in its place, like I said. So that's our plan for the Ubuntu edition, and that's where we're going.
So here are
Anyway, look
Go
forward
ahead. Sorry,
to Thunder OS coming very soon.
excellent.
So
It's exciting.
yeah,
And I'm glad
Anyway,
you're.
we'll let you guys know when that is.
So Zoran
Good.
says, I like that the Unity style layout in Mate is called Mutiny.
Mhm.
Mutiny. Mutiny.
It's not about
That's a good one, Zoe. Very funny. But yeah, it's gonna be sort of like, our take on, something similar to Mint, but not 100%. So,
By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but Anna Rita is giving all kinds of goodness in the YouTube stream chat. So I've copied and pasted almost all of it. I
she's
think.
giving a lot of decent program
No,
suggestions.
let's check these
Yeah.
things out.
Awesome. Thank you,
Hushboard
Henry.
sounds interesting. No. Well, thanks, Anna. All right. Well, it is that time for last call. So thank you very much on the StormOS update, and I look forward to hearing about this new direction you're
New
taking.
edition. Yeah.
Be good.
Thank you much.
All right. So, Dale, you said you got something this Wednesday, right?
Yes, sir. Sunday I'll be doing Ink Stitch live, 7 p.m. Eastern, as usual. However, I was contacted a couple days ago by the Leap 16 release committee manager asking me to do a Leap 16 release party. And my live goes YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. I am Low-Tech Linux on all three of those. I will be live should be live about 6 p.m. Wednesday. That is Eastern U.S. time. And be doing a Leap 16 party. Obviously talking about Leap 16. I should have the release manager in there with me. Have to look up his name. I forgot it already.
Lobos Cockman.
That's the one. Yep, that's the one. He should be in there with me at least at some point during the evening. We're also going to talk about the OS migration tool. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it is amazing when it comes to OpenSUSE. And it's basically just a repository migration tool. But if you're upgrading from Leap 15.6 to Leap 16, that is basically a repository migration. So OS migration tool will help you upgrade from 15.6 to 16. It'll let you go from slow roll to tumbleweed and from tumbleweed from slow roll back and forth. It does have some limitations, but it's pretty darn cool. Also gonna just tease a little bit right now. We should be able to talk about another Leap 16 release, which is an OEM release for Leap 16, which is you install it on a computer, you hand your computer to somebody else, and they fill in all the details of what they want on their computer.
See,
Username,
that's awesome.
passwords. He has let me play around with the new OEM release, and it is amazing. And just another little teaser for it, the OEM release installs in less than 5 minutes. It's crazy. Anyway,
That's for Leap 16.
that's for Leap 16, yes.
Sweet.
And there's a KDE and a GNOME version as we speak.
That's awesome. All right, and then tomorrow you said at what time?
Sunday be 7 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern U.S. time. Be in there talking about Ink Stitch, plug-in for Inkscape that allows you to digitize for machine embroidery for Inkscape for free. Inkscape's free and Ink Stitch is a free plugin. So really amazing stuff.
All right, cool. I'm writing these things down here.
Yep. I think that's all I've
Neat.
got.
Cool. All right, Mike,
Yes, sir.
what have you got? Anything?
Uh,
Any parting thoughts?
no, I don't think so. It's been a pretty quiet week. I did. This is kind of interesting. My Marklight project got mentioned on X, and I've gotten some feedback from a lot of people, so that's been good.
Sweet.
Yeah, got mostly asking for RPM packages. So, guess I'm gonna have to do it, Nate. I may be calling you, man.
All right. I've used Alien in the past to convert Deb to RPM. Not necessarily the best thing to do, but it does work. In a
If you want to
pinch.
make it an app image, I have the ability. I actually have it posted on our SourceForge, the utility to convert Deb or RPM or Python to an app image. I have it listed there.
Okay. Yeah, you gave me that URL.
And
I
that'd
still
be cool
have it.
too.
Yeah, you use it. Yeah.
I think I want to do an RPM package first.
Okay.
Uh,
Because you can use the RPM later on to convert it to an app image if you want.
right. Well, I've got it as a
One of
Debian
those is a
package
base.
now. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we can definitely look at doing that.
Yeah, I'll help you out if you need me to.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate it.
That's
No
awesome,
problem.
Seeker. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
That's really about all I have going on, other than it leveling up Jenda's fashion sense. Yeah,
Look at that markdown. It kind of has like a little Nintendo vibe to me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
The down arrow. Up, down, left, right. A, B, B, A. What was the Konami code? I don't remember. It's been too long. How about you, Eris? Anything exciting there in the world of Eris?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay. And
Have a good
Jinda.
week, everybody.
Well, thank you.
Guys,
What about
too.
you? What about you, Jinda? Anything exciting in your world?
No, it's the exact same stuff. Me trying to figure out what's going on, and when I try to do, I go, why would you want to do that?
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't, I just don't understand when people ask for something. It just seems so bizarre for what sometimes people ask.
It's true. Well, excellent. And I'm on a podcast called. What's
Let
up?
me turn it on you. What have you been up to, Nate?
Work. Work is up to my eyeballs in work, and then
Yeah.
like waves kind of hit over my head, but it's been okay. I think things are getting polished out here, and then I'll have a little more time. But let's see, I working on a bunch of stuff for cubiclenate.com, but nothing really quite done yet. Also some video stuff, some 3D printing. Oh, I have one little thing. Thanks to Sean. So I think last week he told me about this Jesse PLA. So I got this Commodore 64 beige, or really called Tan 64, and so it just came in. It is PLA, which is not my favorite thing to print with, but the color is so good. It is. It looks so 1982, and I'm really excited about that. So yep, got that from Sean. So anyway, yeah, good times. And then I got something printing right now that is for the I'm testing the thing I'm making, which is
For your framework?
it's an enclosure for this media card reader. I could be like a normal human being and just buy one that just plugs in USB. It's kind of flat and you can shove it in your bag, but I don't like any of them. I want something that has a little bit of gravity to it, so I can actually set it next to my computer and plug into it. So it'll have a kind of a Commodore 1541 look to it when it's all done. I think the CAD's working out, mostly done. I got a little more I got to do yet to kind of really finalize it. And I'm just doing a test print right now, not with a Jesse PLA, with some other tan PLA that doesn't quite match, just to do kind of like a strength test on it and some other abuses basically. So if I like it, I might make more than one because they're not, the parts are cheap. So anyway, that's all I got going on, really.
You ought to get in on that Commodore 64 wave right now, buddy, and open you up a little store on Etsy or something and sell those.
Well, this would be like USB-C plug in the back, not anything real special. So, yeah. But I do have a new Commodore 64. That's going to be Ultimate 64. That's going to be arriving at some point in time.
Nice.
So, the story I can share with after the fact, but not in the saloon. So, for those of you that want to be a part of the Linux Saloon and get kind of some inside baseball, as it were, join the Zoom. Although, actually, one other thing, I'm looking at possibly trying next week using Discord instead of Zoom. How would you folks think about that?
It would work. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been involved with an organization that does that. It's no problem. I mean,
Yeah, Ben and I and Ricky, we all usually meet on Discord, and we can share the screens and everything. All our work.
Yep, I'd like to try that out. See, because Zoom keeps raising their prices. Now they have this new AI feature that they've really cranked the price up with it, and I'm not sure if I want to keep using Zoom. Because I don't use this AI feature.
Yeah, if it's just the meeting place where a bunch of us can get, to conversate like Zoom, yeah, Discord would be a perfect alternative.
yeah, just have them make you like an audio channel on the Touch Network.
Yeah.
I think I got that already.
Yeah.
I have to look. So just something I'm kicking around.
All right.
All right.
I've used it a couple of times. I'm not real familiar with it, but it basically does the same thing, I think.
I mean, it didn't have any problems.
The problem you'll have every so often is the microphone fluctuates from different person. That's all.
So David Moore, he gave a great suggestion. MS Teams. We can do Microsoft Teams. Do a Teams meetup.
Hey, you can install that on Tumbleweed.
I know, and I have it.
Okay. Yep. Another option is Google Meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google Meet's a good one. That's what Ricky's been using for our Yu-Gi-Oh Nights on YouTube, and that's
Yeah.
also a very good one.
Did you have to pay for that one? Just for the
Yeah, it's part of Google One,
oh,
but
okay.
I think it's
it's
25.
a
I
good
think it's 20.
platform. But if you're looking for something free, then yeah, Discord is probably the way to go.
Yeah, the alternative would be Google Meets or Teams. Google Meets is probably cheaper.
You can also do the meet.opensuse.org as well.
Hmm.
Gives me another, another way I can just, talk about OpenSUSE just, unabashedly.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So,
I've been
all right.
on
Well,
Meet quite a bit lately.
yeah, Mike, let me know when you want me to help you with that. And I have some time. I'll help you with the programming on that.
Okay, I appreciate it.
No, not a problem.
Hey, Nate, one more quick thing before we
Sure.
go. That's okay. Did anybody see the article? I thought this was just interesting. That ByteDance engineers proposed Parker a new multi-kernel approach for Linux. Does
All
anybody
right.
think that?
Yeah, we have the article down the list. If I can find that.
Yeah, basically what they want to do is on a single machine with a large number of cores, virtualize Linux into separate sets of cores. So you could run like 4 separate Linux kernels on 4 separate virtuals on the single machine at the machine at the hardware level.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let me see. Here's the article.
Yeah. It allows them to single machine without relying on KVM or other virtualization. Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Who's ByteDance?
That's the people who have what's that social media app that the kids use?
The
Oh,
TikTok, ain't
that's
it?
right.
TikTok, yeah.
Interesting. That's right. TikTok. People still use that TikTok thing? Is that still a thing?
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll use it.
So TikTok away.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, someone sends me a TikTok, but I can't open it on my phone because I won't install the app.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Linux Saloon is part of the Tux Digital Network, so check out more great shows at tuxdigital.com. I want to thank you all for your support, however you do it, being a part of the conversation both here in the Zoom meeting or YouTube stream, as well as everyone for watching the show after the fact. I want to thank everyone involved in making Linux and open source tools possible for us to not only have this conversation, but also to have fun and enjoy our technology. Linux truly puts personal back in your personal computer. Thank you for stopping by. Be sure to tip your developers, and please remember to Linux responsibly. Until next time, see you.
Hi, guys.
Oh, I forgot to run the credits. Man.
Oh
All right.
boy, Nate.
Here we go. Let's run the credits for a little bit here. And then, yep.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah.
Always a good show. Yeah.
Yep. All right. There. Now, thanks for watching.